have you identified your gifts? And the majority of you said yes, which I was really pleased to hear. So to those of you who said yes, you have identified your gifts, I'd like to challenge you with, what are you doing with your gifts? Are you building them, developing them, advancing them, nurturing them, operating in them? What are you doing with your gift? Is your gift lying dormant? And to those who said no, I really felt for, because I could relate with that, and I understand how frustrating that can be. And so I think this recording is for them. It's for those who answered no. I guess I'd like to first open with the fact that you do have a gift. If you haven't identified it, doesn't mean you don't have one. You absolutely have a gift. You have a talent, because every single person was born with a purpose, and therefore you've been equipped with gifts and talents to help you fulfill your purpose. So therefore you definitely have a gift or talent. Now, there may be some reasons why you haven't identified your talents, your gifts and talents. And I'd like to share this with you based on my own learns from my journey of discovering my purpose, which I haven't discovered. I am not the know-it-all on this topic. I've been on this journey since my early 20s. I'm still on it. I don't think I'll ever finish. But I've definitely made some, steps towards my purpose. Or I feel like I've uncovered facets of my purpose. I feel like my purpose is multifaceted. I feel like my purpose has loads of branches. And I feel like I've uncovered some. And there's still a lot to come. So that's where I'm sharing from today. Okay, so you may not have identified your talent because you don't respect your talent. Yes, you do not respect it. And I can relate with this because I too do not respect my talent. Your talent is easy to overlook because it's something you do without thinking. It's something you do without having to be taught. It's something you do naturally. It could be something you're passionate about as well. It's something you do without realizing. It's nothing to you. It doesn't take any energy or effort, and therefore it's easy to, pass over. It's easy to miss. Often we're looking for a talent that looks like everybody else's, like singing or, being super intellectual in a certain subject, or really good in a certain subject, or, being brilliant at school. But, talents won't necessarily come in what I guess society has determined talents are. Talents don't fit one shape and size. Talents are diverse because people are diverse. So respect your gift. What do you do without thinking? What do you do that people come to you for help with? What do people know you as or know you for? Things you do effortlessly, which can make you overlook it. There's a saying, familiarity breeds contempt. And I definitely feel that applies with, talents, gifts and talents. That familiarity, that thing you do, you've always done, it's always been there, and since you were young, and so it doesn't seem like anything special. It's still a talent. Another reason you may not have identified your gift is because you've been comparing it with someone else's gift. So what I mean is that you can have the same talent as somebody, yet your delivery of that talent is unique to you. So you can have two really good singers, but their voices will be so unique. And the issue we have is when your voice may not sound like somebody else, so you therefore don't think it's good enough. This is just an example. So if you are comparing yourself to people, if you are comparing the things you're good at to other people, it's not going to help you identify your talent, because your talent is not going to, the manifestation of your talent is not going to look like anybody else's. It's unique to you, and therefore you can't compare it to anybody else. What else? You may think that once you start operating in your talent, that things will just magically or automatically all fall into place, and things will start happening because it's your talent. Incorrect. No, no and nay. Definitely not the case. You will face your strongest battles, contentions when you're operating in your gift, because the enemy doesn't want you to walk in your purpose. Do you know what I mean? When you operate in your gift, it's your gift back to God. You give glory to God. And so when you're operating in your gift, you're probably the most happiest. When you're operating in your gift, your community is bettered. When you're operating in your gift, your family can be fed. When you're operating your gift, there's an opportunity for lives around you and your lives to be transformed when you're operating your gift. All of that is not what the enemy wants to see. It's not what your inner enemies, your inner thoughts wants to see. And so you're going to face contentions, you're going to face battles in your mind, you're going to face contentions, but that doesn't mean that that's not your talent or that's not what you're supposed to do. In fact, often the stronger the contention on your talent, then the greater it is, then the more of a case it is for you to push it out, burst forth in it, or push forth. And I think this is a great time to add that though talents come effortlessly, they still require work. What I mean by this is hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work hard, you've got to work the gift, you've got to work the talent. Like I said, things aren't just going to magically fall into place. We have been given free will, and it's up to us to make a decision whether we want to invest, time, effort, energy, money into obtaining knowledge, on our gift and talent, and just building on that. That's your call. That's your choice, your decision. You are serious about maximizing your talent, getting the most out of your talent, being fruitful in your talents, then you are going to have to put the work in. And just check out the parable of talents in the Bible, which explains this perfectly, or supports this point perfectly. But the best thing you can do to maximize your gift and talent is to go to the manufacturer himself, God, who has the manual. He will give you the best direction. He'll equip you. He'll empower you. He'll give you the wisdom to push out every God-given potential within you concerning your gifts and talents. He inspires creatives to new heights, new thinkings, new realms. He pushes out greatness. He increases the capacity of intellects. He does it all. And lastly, I mentioned something about your enemy. That is the voice in your head, the doubts, your inner demons. Those that can also block you from identifying your talents, because your inner voices can cause you to be very fearful, can cause you to doubt yourself and belittle the talents in your hands, the talents that God has given you. And it is just a frustration to stop you from, stepping out in faith and doing what you've been called to do. So be very careful of the enemy. We're fascinated by our enemies, those against us, external, outside. But a lot of us, our greatest battle is taking place in our mind. So you must take control. You must get control of your thoughts and your inner self in order to be able to identify your gifts and talents and to operate or walk in your gifts and talents, to operate, to walk in your purpose. If you don't have your inner thoughts, if you don't have control of your inner thoughts, it's very, very difficult to fulfill purpose, to fulfill destiny, if you don't have control of those thoughts. Nobody is immune to inner thoughts. The most successful people are the ones who have mastered it the best, who have control of their thoughts, who don't allow their thoughts to get the better of them. So anxiety, fear, depression comes into all of that. So what I'm trying to say is that your gift is right in front of you. It's in your hands. Don't undermine it. Don't devalue it. If you genuinely can't work it out, even after these tips, or even if you have an idea, or now, take it to God as well. He created you. He manufactured you. And therefore, He's got the manual to your life. And He can tell you what your talent is and show you what your purpose is and direct you and direct your path accordingly. So go to God in prayer, firstly, about what your talents and gifts are. And feel free also to reach out to me. I love talking about this type of thing. So if you're still stuck, or you just want someone to talk to, I'm here.